Ken, you are a seasoned political operator. I'm going to ask you to put your pundit hat on rather than your party political hat. Just in relation to the machinations of politics, do you think Boris Johnson is done for?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you ask, the collapse in the opinion polls that he's gone through is almost unprecedented for any Prime Minister in our past. And I think people now realise he hasn't got an agenda. He's not really on top of the job. And I've had privately senior Conservatives over the years say to me, he's the most dishonest politician. He lies more than anyone else. And his former editor, when he was a journalist, Max Hastings, said to me, never leave Boris alone with your wife or your wallet.
All right. Yeah, oh gosh, I have to think about which I'd be more willing to part with. But, I mean, Ken, the bottom line is this guy, he does have the X factor with voters, though, doesn't he? I mean, if you were a Tory backbench MP, which, let's be honest, is a rather fantastical idea, but if you were, you'd be thinking, do we really want to get rid of this election-winning machine? A man responsible for getting Brexit done, for an 80-seat majority, for winning the Red Wall seats, which were previously Labour-dominated. I mean, this guy could bounce back, and that would be playing on your mind if you were a backbencher. I'm
prepared to bet money with you that he won't bounce back, because he did so well, because he's a celebrity, he's charming, he comes over, people think he's very funny, they'd like to sit down and have a chat with him in a pub and so on. But now he's been in office long enough to reveal he has no way of getting on top of the job, he has no agenda, and we are seeing things get worse, I think, than at any time in my lifetime.
Really? But what about the pandemic strategy? I mean, England is the boast of Europe now in terms of COVID restrictions being lifted. Boris Johnson held his nerve for Freedom Day, which your mate Keir Starmer called reckless.
The best thing we had was that our scientists created the vaccine. That's important. But Boris Johnson went into a lockdown later than any other country in Western Europe. We had the highest death toll. I mean, many thousands of people died because Boris went into that lockdown so late. And now I'm worried. I think he's coming out too soon. We're seeing a big surge, the highest rate of new infections than at any time in the last
From
few years.
Omicron?
Yeah. And
a mild incarnation of COVID?
Milder than the other, but it still kills people. And I think we should not lift all these restrictions for another few weeks.